From KTVN Reno, you're watching 2 News at 5:30.
It's almost like we've been abandoned here.
Guests at one motel in Carson City say that they are fed up. The reason they finally filed a formal complaint with the city and what they got in return is tonight's 2 News big story at 5:30. Silver Queen Inn guests in Carson City say that they will fight eviction notices that they received last week. I'm Landon Miller.
And I'm Kristen Remington, and that's because they say it's unfair and that the motel lacks acceptable living conditions. Elizabeth Olveda joins us here in the studio after speaking with both sides. And Liz, this is a long list of grievances.
Yeah, Kristen, really ranging from a lack of hot water to bed bugs. Now, the guests say when they finally filed an official complaint with the city, they got their eviction notices the next day.
I ended up in the hospital.
Shardo Ravo and her husband and 2 kids moved into the Silver Queen Inn last March. Just a couple months later, they realized they had unwanted guests.
My husband had killed one where it had eggs on it all over my couch.
They suffered bedbug bites. After multiple visits to the hospital, doctors told Shar she was allergic.
I had welts all over my body. I couldn't breathe.
Now she has to carry this EpiPen with her, but they say that isn't the only problem they've had.
Electrical problem too. Breakers were constantly going off. Have to go out and flip them back on.
They also claim the AC didn't work in the summer or heat in the winter, including hot water.
Heating up water in your coffee maker to take a shower.
The guests say attempts to reach the property manager were unsuccessful.
Calling Nick, texting Nick, and he just blocked me.
The property manager would not talk to us on camera, but said over the phone that he had a plumber come in to take a look. He said he found one guest was running hot water constantly out of the 2 sinks and shower, which is what he says created that problem. The city is investigating.
The plumber came out and did verify that the plumbing seemed to be in working order.
The Ravo family and other guests finally filed an official complaint with the city on January 8th.
And he always said, if any of you complain, you're going to get an evict.
An eviction notice was filed against them the next day. The Ravos think it's retaliation for their complaint and say it's unfair.
Never been late on rent, always paid early or on time.
The property manager also claimed that they're behind on their rent, but the Ravos say they have money orders to prove otherwise. The manager also said the eviction wasn't because of rent, but because of repeated issues with the guests he says have become a nuisance over time. He also claimed they're in the process of renovating the motel.
Now, the city could not give us much information about code enforcement's findings regarding the most current complaint because it's still under investigation. But the guests do say they plan to fight their evictions and are willing to take it to court. Covering the big story live in the studio, Elizabeth Olveda, 2 News.